everyone, I'm back, and today I want to talk to you about something that's obviously very important, is practicing strategies. Obviously, we all need to practice, and there's that saying that creativity is 1% inspiration and talent and 99% perspiration and practice. So obviously we need to practice regularly, and it's of course better to practice 1 hour each day rather than 5 hours one day and then 4 days nothing. However, what I want to focus on today is the quality of your practice, because I see often people, and me included at some point, I would practice a lot, I was enjoying playing, but really I was not solving any mistakes or bad habits. And if you practice without correcting things, you're actually practicing your mistakes. So the first thing that you need to focus on is your intent. I always get back to intention, whether it's intent in your phrasing. In this case, is setting a clear goal. What do I want to work on? Where are the problems? Narrow down what you need to work on, because you can't just play from beginning to end a piece and hope that it magically will fix itself. Some things will, but many of them, if you don't practice with good concentration, are just gonna get ingrained the wrong way. So practice with a clear goal, whether it's tone, whether it's coordination, whether it's practicing a difficult shift, or whether it's practicing as a run-through for the whole piece. That is also a way. So then you play the whole piece from beginning to end, and no matter what happens, you don't stop, because you want to see what happens under pressure. That's when you're a little closer to a performance. And it's also a great way to figure out where you make mistakes, and later you come back and take each one separately and work on them. So practice with intent. That's my first idea. The second idea is, when you repeat a passage over and over, make it interesting. Don't treat it as if you're playing on a conveyor belt. I'm going to illustrate practicing this passage in a new piece I'm learning. I'm learning Karo Myo Ben, the accompaniment for a singer. And there's this passage with some shifts that I think should be very connected, and they're not yet. So you see there are like holes in the... I don't like these breaks in my shifts, and I even sometimes take more time. So I'm going to practice this passage. If I'm going to practice it over and over, I don't want to kind of zoom out and play and again. What I want to do is practice as if each time is the first time. Okay, so I stop, I breathe, and then I do my second repeat. Sometimes I like to even shake out my hand, just so that it has no previous memory, or, well, of course it has some memory, that's why we're practicing, but I want to treat it as if it's fresh, because really what counts when you're performing is the first time. You don't get the chance in a formal performance to say, sorry, I'm going to play this over and it will work perfectly. Not good enough. So also, what you can do sometimes is, if you want to put on the pressure, and I did that before recording, I would count, and I needed to play at least 8-9 times. I think when I was really perfectionist, 10 times without a mistake. And if I made a mistake on the 8th time, I would start my count from the beginning. And I'm telling you, it puts on the pressure. When you're at your 9th repetition and it worked for 9 times, you start to feel the pressure. And that's kind of trying to put on the performance pressure that it's hard to recreate when you're practicing in your own room. So about repeating passages, one thing that I was saying was treat each as if it's the first performance of that passage. The other thing that helps us stay focused on our practicing is varying our focus, changing focus from different, practicing in different ways. The same passage, but keeping it fresh. Let's say now I'm going to just focus on the shape of each chord, and I don't even want to hear the notes. Okay, so I'm practicing chord shapes. Then I'm gonna practice, and this also is interesting, and you might have listened to another talk of mine where I talk about this importance of playing left hand only and then trying to imagine the sound so that you practice your inner listening skills. The other one would be, I'm gonna focus on connecting the notes of the melody. Okay, now bass. Tune probably. Okay, so in fact the bass, when you're playing chamber music, it's so important to focus on the bass because the melody is not your part. In my case, it's the singer that's going to do it. So I'm going to focus on the bass. In other words, I'm repeating the same passage, but I'm rotating focus to keep it interesting for myself. So these are the three main things I wanted to explain to you. Is 1, practice with a clear goal in mind. 2, practice as if each time you're playing a passage is the first time. Try to keep your mind awake and fresh. And thirdly, change focus. Make it interesting for yourself. Play really loudly, for example. Then really relax to see. In fact, my shifts are nicer when I'm playing softly, which is to be expected. So now let's try to maintain the feeling of my left hand that was very smooth when I played softly. So I'm going to play louder. So. Yeah. Okay, and I might not always want to play that loudly, but it's nice to create that finger independence and go back to soft. Okay. I mean, of course, there are many passages. I just happen to stop on this one, but you can illustrate this with any passage that you happen to work on. So I hope you found this practicing strategy useful, and I'm looking forward to talking to you very soon. Bye.